He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Glad we're here together. Another exciting story coming back to you on Storytime. Thank you indeed for being here. Baby Bia, I see you. Yes, first through the door. Thank you so much for joining in. Amanda, good morning to you as well. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime, and welcome. Yes, a happy Tuesday to all of you. Now that I'm on summer break, mixing up my days, forgetting my days. It is a Tuesday today. Thank you so much for joining in. Glad you're here with us. I hope that your Tuesday is off to a great start as well. And we do have a wonderful book to start off our day. And of course, depending on where you are in the world, maybe end your day on this wonderful, beautiful book indeed. Thank you so much for joining in. Out here in Oakland, cloudy today. I haven't looked at the weather actually to see when it will open up or if it will be opening up. But right now it is gray, it is cloudy, and it actually works out for me this time around, this in the summer times, because then I don't get the sun directly in, and so yeah, it's nice to have all the windows open and still be able to see the outside. But thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I hope that the day is good where you are. I hope it is not too hot. I've seen there's a heat wave going across the country, especially as you head east. I hope that you're finding ways to stay cool. Thank you so much for joining in. And indeed, if you do go outside, please be sure to take care of all the stuff, do all the important things, your sunscreen and everything else to protect yourself. Hydrate, very important. Thank you so much for joining in this wonderful planet that we have. What is your favorite bit about it? And yes, we will be taking on a wonderful tour today by Quinn, as he'll be showing us through this beautiful planet. If you come to Earth, this one is written and illustrated by SOPHIE Blackalll. Yes, the Caldecott medalist. And of course, this one coming to you from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Thank you indeed for joining in. I know it is a favorite. Coming back to Storytime, I'm glad that we have it here with us today. Thank you for joining in. And before I forget to, just remember that there is an event happening. It is on July 28th. We will be at Fairyland right here in Oakland. So join in. Lots of fun, lots of activities. Then this will be helping, bring the community together. And this one is being organized by the Legal Assistance for Seniors. Yes, indeed, we know our seniors need their targets for some unscrupulous people out there. So organizations like this one are very, very important. And indeed, it is good to bring awareness to their work and see how you can donate and support their work out here in Oakland. Thank you so much for joining in. And I hope that, if you're in the area, you can make it and come on to the event. Thank you so much for joining in. And Storytime will be there. So we'll be having fun together. Let us see who is with us this morning. We know Bia is here already. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad you're here. Good morning, Storytime friends, says Bia and Amanda, and say we're enjoying some early morning sunshine while the rest of the family sleeps. Wow, indeed. Don't wake them up. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Always a pleasure to have you here. I'm glad that you're here indeed on Storytime this morning. And I'm glad too that you have the early morning sunshine out there. Enjoy it indeed. And we do have a wonderful book to go with our morning too. This one, If You Come to Earth, coming to you from Sophie Blackall and Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Chrissy, Mitchell, Adams, and Bowden in rainy Vermont. Well, I'm hoping that when we're in Vermont this summer, it won't be raining. It'll be nice and dry and sunny out. Thank you so much for joining in. Glad you're here with us indeed. Hugs to you out there. Thank you so much for joining in. And yeah, good to see you here. Thank you for being here. Bowden, good to see you on a live with us one more time. Thank you so much for joining in. And Chrissy, good morning to you one more time. Thank you so much for joining us out in Vermont. Thank you for being here. Good morning to you, Amanda. Where's Sarah and Nathan in sunny and bright Illinois? Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you're having a wonderful time out there. And I know that it's been hot. I hope that it has cooled down a little bit. I hope that you are enjoying your start to the day. Thank you so much for joining in. Happy Tuesday to you, Sarah and Nathan and Amanda. And of course, sending you hugs out there in sunny and bright Illinois. Thank you so much for being here today. Absolutely appreciate it. Oh my goodness. Good morning to you. Katota, how are you doing, my brother? You know it's all love. Thank you so much for joining in. Joe T, oh my goodness. This is awesome. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're here. Sending you love out there in Lusaka, Zambia. Yes, indeed. And I hope that you're enjoying what the Shipolo Polo are doing right now. Thank you so much for joining in. And I am glad that you're here indeed. Good to see you, brothers out there. And I hope that you're having a lovely, lovely Tuesday out there. I know it's later in the day for you. I hope that it is a good one. And of course, thank you indeed for making my day and joining in Storytime. Love to Dumisani and all the family. Thank you so much for joining in. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Well, we have a wonderful book together, and I hope that we can enjoy it. You know this one is coming back to Storytime after a long time, but it is here. If you come to Earth, actually I shouldn't say after a long time. It's been after a little bit. It was here not too long ago, but it is a favorite here, and we'll bring it back some more. Trust me, this is not the end. This is not the last one. Thank you so much for joining in. Get cozy, get comfortable. Yes, get ready as we'll be getting started with our story very, very shortly. Join me on the other side of this message for our reading today. Join me. Go, grab what you need. This is the time. Grab it, and come back and enjoy a wonderful story today. Here we go.
This is Anika Moroz-Reese, author of The Teacher's Pet, Watch Out for Wolf, Love Sophia on the Moon, the Anna Banana chapter book series, and Hide and Don't Seek and other very scary stories. And you are watching Storytime with Mr. Lamata.
Thank you, Anika. As you know, Anika has just wonderful books. If you've not checked them out, please do and see them in our archives too. We have some amazing excerpts from some of the wonderful books that we've read here, including Hide and Don't Seek. If you're into feeling like a scary book, that is the one for you. And of course, she has, if you need a laugh too, Love Sophia on the Moon, one of my favorites. All right, here we go. Today we're reading If You Come to Earth. This one is written and illustrated by Sophie Blackall, and we're reading it with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Here we go. Get ready, get cozy, get comfortable. Is that how your morning is? Beautiful rising sun? If You Come to Earth. This one is written by Sophie Blackall, written and illustrated by Sophie Blackall, and read with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Listen to this part before we go ahead. For everyone on Earth, especially the children, especially those I met in Rwanda, India, Bhutan, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Australia, and the USA, and especially Miss Greta's second grade class at the Brooklyn, New York school, I promised I would try to make a book about all of us and the planet we share. This is it. This planet that we share. How can we take care of it? How can we appreciate it? All right, here we go. Dear visitor from outer space. Just shift a little bit. Oh, there we go. Dear visitor from outer space, if you come to Earth, here's what you need to know. Yeah, just a few things you need to know before you come here to Earth. Dear visitor from outer space, if you come to Earth, here's what you need to know. What do I need to know? Well, there's a soccer ball. I'm all done. I'm all set. There's a book. Books and soccer. That's it for me. What is it for you? You can find us near a big sun and a tiny moon and a bunch of other planets. Ours is the greeny blue one. Yes, that one right there. That is our planet. You can find us near a big sun, a tiny moon, and a bunch of other planets. Ours is the greeny blue one. Indeed it is. The green and brown bits are land, and the blue stuff is water. The green and brown bits are land, and the blue stuff is water. People mostly live on land in big cities. Yeah, are you in a big city? I am out here in Oakland. Well, they live in small towns too, and tiny villages. Or, where else do people live? They live in big cities, small towns, tiny villages, or, whoa, just in the middle of nowhere. Look at that. Whenever I see places that are this isolated, I always think of how do they get their amenities? How do they get their, water and grocery store and all those things? So I always wonder about that. But they make it work. Would you live somewhere that isolated? We live in all kinds of homes. Yeah. And sometimes, unfortunately, people lose their homes. Like these ones say, we lost our homes in a fire, in a flood, in a war. Unfortunately, those things happen. They're natural disasters. And sometimes just mean people decide to invade other countries or other people. Yeah. And right now, with the fires that are raging, as we know, something to think about. How can we be responsible when we are out there, making sure that we're doing our best to help prevent or minimize those fires? We live in all kinds of homes. Do you see your kind of home out here? I'm in a duplex, an apartment. Are you in a house? Are you in an apartment building? Are you in a complex? Or maybe you're in a mansion or a castle. In all kinds of families. And that is the beauty of it, the diversity of our families. We live in all kinds of homes, in all kinds of families. There are more than 7 billion people on Earth. We all have bodies, but every body is different. over 7 billion people on Earth. We all have bodies, but every body is different. And that's a good thing. It's beautiful. Everybody is different. It's unique. Except for friends who are identical twins and look the same. Or are they? Except for Mustafa's mole. Can you see Mustafa's mole? Did you find it? All right. Inside our heads, we are usually thinking. You can't see our thoughts, but sometimes we show our feelings on our face. What emotions do you see on these faces that we have on screen right now? Oh, yes. Inside our heads, we're usually thinking. You can't see our thoughts, but sometimes we show our feelings on our faces. What is that feeling? Is that you this morning? Or maybe that's you. Which one are you this morning? Or maybe you're the sleepyhead. Even if we don't feel like it, we get dressed every day. We wear different clothes depending on what we do. Oh, yes. And where we live, and if it's hot or cold. Yeah. I know it's cold right now in Lusaka. Sure, all the jackets are out. Even if we don't feel like it, we get dressed every day. We wear different clothes depending on what we do and where we live, and if it's hot or cold. Yeah. There's a lot. There are lots. There's lots of different weather in the world. Lots of different weather. Yeah. I mean, even just in the last few days here, we've had heat, you have cold, you have windy, all kinds of things. Some of it's good, and some of it's bad. Yeah. As we know, with all the storms and thunderstorms causing fires and everything else that is happening. Sometimes we get floods. Yeah. There's different types of weather, different kinds of weather in the world. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. Wherever people live, we usually have to go somewhere, someplace else. There are lots of ways to get there. What's the mode of transportation that you're going to use today? Are you flying somewhere? Are you riding a train somewhere? Bus, car, bicycle, walking? Wherever people live, we usually have to go someplace else. There are lots of ways to get there. Or maybe you're using a boat. I am a kid, and kids go to school, unless it's summer break, right? To learn stuff. So we will know what to do when we're grown up. Yes. Kids go to school to learn stuff. So we will know what to do when we're grown up. What do you like about your school? Are you homeschooled? Are you in a small school? Are you in a big school? I hope you like it there. Grown-ups do lots of things. They do lots of things to make the world work. Oh, yes. Lots of different things. You have chefs. You have judges. You have police officers. You have doctors. You have artists. You have people that work at the circus. So many different things. You have teachers. librarians, barbers. Next time you see them, ask them what their job is, what they do, what they like about it. Some are mechanics, some are mathematicians. Adults or grown-ups do lots of things to make the world work. And whatever you choose, kids, it'll be great. But when people are not at work or at school or sick or asleep, we get to do whatever we want. Ah, that sounds like fun, doesn't it? We get to do whatever we want. What's your favorite thing to do when you have all the time and you don't have to do school, you don't have to do work, you're not sick or asleep? What is it that you like to do? Whatever we're doing, we need to eat when we are hungry. Oh, yes. Whatever we're doing, we need to eat when we are hungry. Some of us have more food than others. We all need food and water to survive. Yes, we do. We all need food and water to survive. So if you have a little extra, share with your neighbor. Some of us have more food than others. We all need food and water to survive. And I hope that you have some delicious food today. I just had some shima from, this is Zambian food, and I enjoyed it. Yes, early morning shima. It was delicious. We get water from rain, which flows into little streams and big rivers and all the way to the sea. You can't drink the sea because it's too salty. It is. We get water from the rain, which flows into little streams and big rivers and all the way to the sea. You can't drink the sea because it's too salty. Yeah. What can you drink? What do you do? The sea looks empty. It does, doesn't it? The sea looks empty. But whoa, but actually it's full. Fish can swim, but they can't walk. Look at that. All the different things under the sea. Wow. Can you name any of those? Yes, the sea looks empty, but actually it's full. Fish can swim, but they can't walk. Most animals can walk or swim or gallop or hop, but they can't fly. Well, it's true. Most animals can walk or swim or gallop or hop, but they can't swim. Can you swim? Or is it they can't fly? Some birds can swim and walk and fly. So if I had to choose, I would be a bird. What would you choose? Yes, some birds can swim and walk and fly. So if I had to choose, I would be a bird. I can do all of those. Birds can sing. People make all kinds of music on our own and all together. Birds can sing. So can whales and people. Yep. People make all kinds of music on our own and all together. Yes, indeed. Did you sing this morning on top of your voice? Some of us who are deaf talk with our hands and faces. Some of us who are blind read with our fingers. Isn't that cool? Amazing what the human body can do, isn't it? What our bodies can do. Some of us who are deaf talk with our hands and faces. Some of us who are blind read with our fingers. If we're blind, we can imagine colors as shapes and sounds. These are the colors you need to paint everything in the world. Wow. That's so cool. If we're blind, we can imagine colors as shapes and sounds. These are the colors you need to paint everything in the world. Mix and match. Some things are part of nature. Some things are made by people. Yes. Some things are part of nature. Seashells, acorns. What else do you see? Snakes. So many things, butterflies. And some things are made by people. With sewing machines, wheelbarrows, scissors, soccer balls. Oh my goodness. What have you made today? Some things are big. Oh my. Look at that. Look at that skeleton. Some things are big and some are small. Take a look at that ant. Some things are small or some things are big. Some things are invisible. Invisible clock, ghosts, gravity. Yes, some things are invisible. Electricity, the smell of roast chicken, old socks, frangipani, wet wool, sound waves, germs. Yeah, some things are invisible. Can you think of any other invisible things? Did somebody say air? Yes, some things are invisible. Some germs make you sick. So can eating a woolly milk with toads do. Or breathing in smoke or getting spat on by a slow lorries. Yeah, some things can make you sick. And we know right now we've been living through a pandemic. We know some things can make you very sick. Sometimes people get hurt by accident. Yeah. It all happens here on Earth. Mom! Sometimes we hurt each other, unfortunately. Sometimes we hurt each other. And I hope that doesn't happen too often. It's better when we help each other. Absolutely. It's better when we help each other. Yes, that is much, much better. Babies are not very good at anything. Kids are good at lots of things. Grown-ups can do just about anything until they are really, really old. But by then, the babies are grown up and can help. Aw. It's true. Older people are good at telling stories about the world when they were young. Kids are good at making up stories that haven't happened yet. And we need both, for sure. Older people are good at telling stories about the world when they were young. Kids are good at making up stories that haven't happened yet. Creative minds. There are lots of things we don't know. We don't know where we were before we were born or where we go after we die. But right this minute, we are here together on this beautiful planet. Isn't that a great message? There are lots of things we don't know. We don't know where we were before we were born or where we go when we die. But right this minute, right now, we are here together on this beautiful planet. If you come to Earth, you can stay in my room. Love, Quinn. I love it. If you come to Earth, you can stay in my room. Love, Quinn. What a tour that was. Thank you so much for joining me on Storytime today. I hope you enjoyed that one. It is indeed a beautiful book. This one, you can see why it keeps coming back to Storytime. Yes, If You Come to Earth. This one written and illustrated by Sophie Blackalll and read with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. A big thank you to you indeed for joining us for this wonderful story. Find it at your local library. Find it where you find books and get to enjoy it some more. And indeed, why not turn on Storytime and read along together? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Always a pleasure to be here with you. Always a pleasure to share this time, not taking it for granted. Like the book says, right this minute, we're here together enjoying this wonderful planet and indeed enjoying this wonderful community. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of Storytime. Thank you for always setting aside time to be here with us and enjoy stories. And indeed, as we continue to promote reading among our little ones and among our community for sure. Thank you so much for being here. Please do not forget to join us again tomorrow for more Storytime. We're back with another exciting story. And this one is indeed a powerful reminder, The Fox and the Forest Fire. This one coming to you from Danny Popovici. Do join us. And of course, it'll be coming to you from Chronicle Books as well. Please do join me for this one tomorrow. And let's get to enjoy. And of course, remind ourselves of all that's happening around us, and indeed the effects that these fires have on communities, on homes, on wildlife, on the animals, right? So let's help in ways that we can. If you're able to donate to organizations, please do so. And of course, when we're out there, let us also be responsible. If you're out there somewhere, please remember, do not light fires in undesignated places, and follow the guidelines all the time. And if you see somebody not doing something right, please tell the authorities so they can correct the situation. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Join me again tomorrow for more Storytime as we'll be reading The Fox and the Forest Fire. And we know there are many forest fires that are happening right now throughout the world, Portugal, here in Northern California, and so many places. And just hoping that the damage that is done is to a minimum, and also, that there's mitigation that can happen. So I hope that, the weather swings our way too. Maybe we get a little bit of rain in those places, anything that can help. Maybe the winds slow down or something, we will take anything that we can. And of course, a big thank you to all the wildland firefighters out there, because they're doing an amazing job, and it's not easy, but they're there in the front lines making sure that the rest of us are okay. And please, if you're close to the areas affected, please make sure that maybe when you do go outside, put on your masks, or just so you're not breathing in all the fumes that are coming out of those fires. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Always a pleasure to be here together. Indeed, it is a wonderful planet. It's not perfect. It has its problems, and also we navigate that together. Thank you so much for joining in. Let us see one more time who is with us on Storytime this morning, enjoying that wonderful story. Thank you one more time. Joe T and Matangeni Ngoma joining us all the way out in Lusaka, Zambia, and Katoto, of course. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely appreciate you. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day out there in Lusaka. Thank you so much for joining us. Fiona Otieno, good to see you. It has been a minute. Thank you so much for joining in. Good to see you on the live. Oh, miss you so much. Marisa, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I hope that everything is okay out where you are. Thank you indeed for being here on Storytime. Good to see you. Sending you hugs. And I'm trying to remember. I know it's Marisa and Mirai. Yes, I think I have this one. Mirai, thank you so much for joining in. Growing, I'm sure, right now. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I'm glad that you are here with us. Thank you. Good to see you, Fiona. I am excited for sure. Thank you indeed for joining in. I'm glad that you're here with us on Storytime. Thank you. Thanks for bringing this story back. As no matter, hope all our Storytime friends have a wonderful day. You heard it. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Baby Bia. And you saying indeed, hope everyone in this community today has a lovely day. And indeed, we wish you just that. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. What a beautiful book. We loved this one. It is a beautiful book, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I'm glad that you are here with us. Chrissy and Borden, thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And indeed, I will be sharing with you information as we'll be out in Burlington very, very soon. So please do stay tuned, and I'll keep you informed on that. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. To everybody that joined in Storytime today, thank you indeed. And we say to you, happy Tuesday. I hope that you have a lovely, lovely day indeed. Lovely rest of your day. And please, if you're somewhere here, remember to let your friends know, let everybody know that, yes, we will be at Fairyland on July 28th. Join us if you can. Come and have fun with us for this wonderful event as we celebrate our community. This one is organized by the Legal Assistance for Seniors. So please do join us and come and have fun with us. Thank you so much for being here on Storytime. And this week we continue to look at stories that remind us in ways that our planet, is being we can take care of our planet, and how it is being, devastated with all the fires that are happening, how communities are being uprooted, and we're trying to see what are ways in which we can be responsible as we go out there. What are ways in which we can help? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Always something that we try and do to make sure that each week we're focusing on something, and together we're learning, together we're exchanging information, and we leave better than we came. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Glad you are here. This wonderful community is indeed a place of refuge for me, and I hope that it is the same for you. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And indeed, Amanda, thank you. Echoing your message there, you said, we hope our friends, all our Storytime friends, have a wonderful day. And on that note, that is where we'll end today. Thank you so much for joining in. To all of you that joined in, hugs, and love. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. And indeed, don't forget to join me tomorrow for more story time. And of course, if you want more story time, remember that you can catch us too at 11 a.m. Pacific time and get to enjoy some more story time. Thank you indeed for joining in story time. But you can also find us in our archives at storytimewithmrlimada.com or at Storytime with Mr. Limada on YouTube and Facebook, and get to enjoy the wonderful stories and conversations that we have there. Thank you so much for joining in story time. Have a lovely day, everybody. Good to see some old faces back here here on Storytime Live. Hugs, 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 and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Story time. Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. He brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be